trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate. The lamps are diving, flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. We fly that flow, grab that gap. No time to nap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control, bounce that wall, we fly it all, we fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.
What's up, friends? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to hell. Welcome to Sunday Q&A. We're going to revisit the Hummingbird Race V2. I haven't flown this in a little while, and I saw a couple of people have their first Hummingbird experiences recently, and I was like, you know what? Let's fly that thing again. I have a tendency to charge BT 2.0 batteries, and then the two Newbeedrone rigs that I've moved over to NX69, I end up not being able to fly them because I don't have the NX69 batteries charged. But yeah, for whatever reason, today was the day. And so, yeah. I've made a couple of mods to mine as well that I think you should make to yours, especially if you're going to be flying freestyle with it. So we're going to talk about that as well. You'll get to check out what the newer, lighter weight Newbeedrone BI camera looks like that we were actually just talking about on Friday's live stream when we were going through Weebleed's website. I did get that Weebleed order in after the live stream, so all the stuff that we talked about on Friday is on the way in case you're dying to know what the Bleed Eye camera looks like or any of the other things that I got on there. I sold this, so this is a 1X. This is a 1S Walksnail 1.6 inch build that I had up on my Etsy store, and it sold about a month ago. The person that bought it doesn't know FPV at all, and they got in over their head with like a fully custom build essentially. and they ended up sending it back. And so it's back here. And so I'm flying these version 2 lava batteries on it. While I was at it, it's kind of good timing though, because on that Weebleed order is the new 1.6-inch tri-blades. And so while I have a chance with a rig that's like on the heavier side, right? Like 1S 1.6-inch is a bit of a struggle. And so this is a really good rig to try to test these batteries out. And also, I've got those props coming. So I'm going to be flying this a little bit. I just flew it on these HQ tri-blades. These are right in front of me here. They are HQ U40 millimeters by 3. Why does it not tell me the pitch on there? Hopefully it tells me the pitch on the blade of the propeller. It does indeed. These are 1.6 by 1.1 by 3s. I was not super happy with it on these propellers. There was a bunch of like random jello at medium throttle that this thing didn't have when I sent it out. I know the person did fly it, and so I guess there's a chance that that this is something that they did. I really doubt that though. I'm pretty sure it's these propellers. But you know what? Let me check real quick. I'll show you how to do a super quick health check on a 1S rig. You could maybe do this on a 2S without pulling the propellers off, but I wouldn't really recommend it. On a 1S Tiny Whoop, though, it doesn't make enough power that you really need to take the propellers off. And doing this test that I'm about to do with the propellers on is actually really nice because it's going to tell you both if the motor shafts are bent and or if the props are bent as well. Essentially, if you've got your rig with the propellers on, you're going to do this test real quick and then take the propellers off and do the test again. And so, like, if you spin one of these, like, let's say motor 2 here. If you spin motor 2 up with the propeller on and it vibrates harder than the rest of these motors, motor prop combos, and then you take the propellers off and it doesn't vibrate as hard as the rest of those, you just confirm that the propeller on motor 2 was a mess. Usually you can tell if the propeller is the problem pretty easily because it'll be the problem. But not always. It's what I meant to say is you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see that it's the problem. Sorry. So yeah, there's that. This is a 680 mAh lava that I'm just going to hook up to this real quick to do this test. So you plug your shit in and you hold it. This is important. You have to be able to feel the vibration. So you want to hold this thing. And this is also why you don't want to do this on 2S or higher, because you're going to be holding this while the propellers spin. And that's a little sketchy with more powerful rigs. And you could hurt yourself. So you hold this thing, you come into beta flight, you go into the motors tab, and you click this little button here that says, I understand the risks. The propellers are definitely removed. Again, only do this on a 1S build. And now you're just going to grab each one of these little bars and you're going to slowly move it up and down. All of the vibrations are going to happen between 1200 and 1400, which is like 20% throttle to 40% throttle. You'll feel that. As you sweep this up and down, you'll feel that around 1300 is where the majority of the vibrations are. And you're just going to do each motor individually. That was motor 1. It felt nice and clean. No major vibes. Motor 2. Motor 2 feels good as well. Motor 3. There's a little bit of a vibration. It's not that bad, but it's worse than motors 1 and 2. And then motor 4. Motor 4 feels pretty clean as well. You can use the master and run them all at the same time. It's not going to tell you very much. What it might sometimes when you do that, you'll get to a specific RPM where like the each motor will sort of interact with the other one. There'll be like a little bit of like wah 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 wah, but that's pretty rare because they are spinning. They should be spinning the exact same RPM. I guess that's an interesting thing to look at. If you pull this slider up and then you look at the RPMs of the motors, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. I never thought about that one. So, something interesting here. We click the button. And now watch this. Look at the difference. Motor 1 is between 20 and 21,000 RPM. Motor 2 is 19. Get out of there. Come on, tooltip. Get out of there. Motor 3 is bouncing between 19 and 20. Motor 4 is bouncing between 18 and 19. So we do have a situation on this rig where motor 1... the motor or the ESC channel 1 is a little bit stronger than the rest. This this is just sending voltage. This is just sending whatever percentage of voltage you pick on the slider to that motor, to that ESC, and then of course to the motor. So yeah, shit, I never thought about that. That's actually kind of cool, moving that master slider up and then seeing how accurate all 4 of the motors are. It doesn't really matter that motor 1 or ESC 1 is making a little bit more power because the PID loop is going to figure this shit out. The PID loop is running at like either 4,000 or 8,000 or 3,200 cycles per second. So that's how many times per second the PID loop is maybe like pulling power from one motor. So if you go full throttle in like 1/3,200ths of a second, if one motor ESC channel starts to ramp up higher, the PID loop is going to grab that and say, no, we're chilling. It pulls all of the more powerful ones down to where the least powerful one is, right? And so if you were to do that and it was drastically different, yeah, that's a problem. But this doesn't seem to be that bad. Although, let me ramp it up even higher. I can't believe I never thought to do this. This is a really cool little troubleshooting step. 36, 37. Stop. Get out of there! 32, 33, 33, 34, 33, 34, 35. Yeah, I mean, that was jamming pretty good. And there was a little bit bigger. There was like a 2,000 RPM difference between the strongest and the least. It's not nothing. It's not everything either, but it's certainly not nothing. What I learned more than anything is that prop or motor number 3 is vibing a little bit harder than the rest. And so now what we're going to do, you can also do this with turtle mode, for the record. You can't do the little master trick there, and you can't read the RPMs. But if you have a really hard crash, you can certainly pull the props off and do this with turtle mode right quick to make sure that your motors aren't banged up. You know what I mean? I can't believe I just said right quick. I've been living in the South too long. Yeah, right quick. Meh, see? Meh. What was that? That was a strange mixing of gangster. Old school gangster with apparently the South. I don't know what that was about. This thing got hot being plugged in. It's this. By the way, this is a Walksnail build, and it's going to be back up for sale. I just want to make sure that it didn't get like banged up or anything. And like I said, I might as well test out these new props because maybe I'll sell this with the new GemFan props on it if they're better. I was not very impressed though with these HQ props. I sold this on the GemFan 1610s, and I'm going to be putting it back onto the GemFan 1610s. So I pulled the propeller off of motor number 3. I'm just going to pick another motor. Might as well be motor 1. And I'm going to pull the prop off of motor 1, and then I'm going to do the exact same little tests that I just did. See? And we're going to see if motor 3 is a little bit more banged up than motor 1. It's important to... It's really hard to get, like, a super solid baseline with this stuff, right? Like, how much vibration is too much vibration? I've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times, and I don't even know. I can't, like I have some idea. If I spin a motor up, I have some idea if that's vibrating a little bit too hard and it's going to be causing problems versus it's still fresh. But why? Like, you don't need to. Just always do 2 at a time. Always do 1 then the next, and you'll always have some sort of a control. Better yet, do all 4, right? When you spin all 4 motors up, one of them's going to be clean, and then you can judge the other ones based on that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right, so we pulled those 2 props off. We're going to plug the battery back in. And so now with the propellers off, the vibrations are going to be even more subtle. So be even more sensitive with your little fingy tips, I guess. I don't know. So we got, what did I do? Motor 1 and 3. So motor 1, spin that up. Feels fine. Motor 3. Yep. Motor 3 is ever so slightly more dinged up. What you can do, one of the things you can do is spin it really slow there. It's on 1017, so it's at 1.7%. And then you take your fingernail and you put your fingernail here next to the motor shaft to feel if the motor shaft is vibrating back and forth. And in this case, it is not. And why that's important, and I'm just going to use the up arrow on my keyboard to spin it a little bit faster and just do it one more time. Yep, okay. And so why that's important is that these itty-bitty motors do not get... In some cases, these itty-bitty motors don't get dynamically balanced when they're manufactured. There was a while that the manufacturer said, we can't do it. We don't have the ability to balance these motors. Typically what they do to balance these motors is they spin the bell up, and then they put balance. They figure out where they have a fancy machine that figures out where it's out of balance, and then they use this shit that they call balancing mud. It just looks like dirt on the inside of the bell, but they put that dirt opposite of where it's heavy. And then, I don't know, they should spin it up again to check it. They probably don't because they're selling these things really cheap. In a lot of cases, they don't even bother. They don't even bother to try to balance these. And so, when you've got 2 motors, the test that we just did is that motor 3 with a propeller on it vibrated a little bit harder than motor 1 with a propeller on it. I took the propellers off, and the situation was exactly the same. Motor 3 vibrated a little harder than motor 1. Typically, we would blame that on a bent motor shaft, but I then spun this motor up real slow and put my fingernail next to the motor shaft. So the motor shaft is here. If it was wobbling, my finger would have felt that. And I also put my finger next to motor 1 so that I could get a control. But what I felt on motor... what I felt! What I felt was that they were exactly the same. The motor shaft is not bent on motor 3. The motor itself has not been as well balanced from the factory. And you can't really fix that. Like, you can't balance these motors. They just sort of are what they are. When I first spun these up and I said none of these feel that bad that it's a problem, every single time I do a fresh build, I spin the motors up in Betaflight like this with no props on. I've been doing that for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. And so it doesn't surprise, like when I spin up a fresh motor and one of them is a little bit out of balance, that's how I've learned over the years what to expect. Like, they're just, especially these little tiny motors, they're not going to be absolutely perfect like a 5-inch motor. That is both easier to balance because it's bigger and more expensive with better quality control, right? So yeah, this is kind of like as good as it gets. I'm not worried about this motor being banged up because of the fingernail test. There you go. That's a very important way to tell the health of your quad. As you start beating these things up, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so you want to do that more and more often. The more you fly a build, the more you crash a build, I guess, is more accurate here. The more often that you want to do that, because this is how you're going to adjust your tune, and this is how you're going to decide when you're going to replace stuff, right? When am I going to replace this motor? When am I going to replace this propeller? Well, don't replace it until it's more banged up than the rest. On a tiny whoop, yeah, you can spin the props up. On everything else, you're going to need to take the props off to check that. And so you're going to kind of, on everything else, you're just going to sort of visually change props when they look like shit, which is fine. They when they get banged up and knocked out of balance, they look like they got banged up and knocked out of balance. So it's, trust yourself on that one. This is also an important thing for kind of like evaluating props. There are plenty of propellers out there that are just not as well balanced as some others that are available. And so, like, even on something bigger than a tiny whoop where you can't spin the propeller up, you can still sort of like, if you've got a rig that's acting weird and you know it's vibrating because it's trying to fly away, or you can hear it, if you take the propellers off and you spin the motors up and all of the motors spin exactly the same and they're all nice and smooth, you know that the props are the problem, right? Try a different set of props. So you can sort of use the law, what is it in Sherlock? The laws of deduction? Maybe I'm just talking shit now. I don't know. Wait, that's always what I do. Like people, not in balance, Uriel says. Indeed. There we go. So yeah, I'm disappointed by these HQ props. I'm gonna put GemFan 1610s back on here, and I think I'll be happier. Why is there so much bass happening right now? Maggie was already, oh, she must have parked in the driveway. Maggie's TSX wagon has a K24Z3 in it, which is one of the best 4-cylinder engines ever made. And at idle, man, that thing, it makes some bass. I hear when she opens the garage door and pulls that car into the garage, it just like the whole house vibrates. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, GemFan 1610's going back on. I'm gonna fly a couple batteries through this to test these lava batteries out, and then when that Weebleed order gets here, I will swap on the new GemFan 16 something or other, 1612 or 1614, I think they are, propellers. And we'll compare them to these 1610s. But yeah, in the meantime, I am going to fly this a little bit on these 1610s. Try to just refine the tune a little bit more. You know, these heavier 1S rigs are a little bit difficult. We're asking a lot from a little itty bitty battery. And so they can be a little bit challenging to get absolutely dialed in perfectly. All right, those batteries are done charging. That's good. In the chat, Levster was first. Ricardo Penders, Yukon FPV, Mupshot, Schnauzer FPV, The Bruce, Jimmy the Cow, Eco, Lord Region, Mupshot, Levster, Tamava, Spaceman Spiff, Uke again, Whoop Fox, Ricardo again, Spaceman, Mupshot, Denzel the Terrible, B-Bird, Hendrix Freakazoid, Levster, Capital C, Drusen, CCAD Ryan, Phil Bradley, Frank Nicholas, Chef Bruno, Bitterroot, Drusen, just on task, just on task. I think I got everybody. Matrix, Kevin Smith. Nope, there we go. There's some new ones. Ramalala, Tanky. Skull 901. Jamie Flies FPVs in the house. Happy New Year to you as well. I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you, that sucks. You must think it was personal. It wasn't. I promise. I'll get you next time. CiottiFPV.com is where you can go to support me. This is a totally crowdfunded thing. Let's keep building better shit together. How's that sound in 2026? Patreon is the best way you can support me. But I do have some stuff that you can buy for yourself with all that Christmas money you got from your grandma. Look at all these stickers, man. One of the best ways you can support me is to buy some stickers. They're a little expensive because you're supporting me. And then you're getting a free sticker. Is one weird way to think about it. This is like the way that I sign stuff. If you ask me to sign your shirt, it'll look like this. This one's glow in the dark. Nobody buys this sticker, and it upsets me because it's glow in the dark. And I thought it was incredibly clever. I was wrong. This is a window cling. You won't even get adhesive on your window of your car or any piece of glass that you stick this to. You can stick this on the inside or on the outside. Didn't know I was that fancy, did you? Micro King regular old sticker. Holographic new school logo. Apple colors, yo, with holographics. Come on. If you're an old school Apple nerd and you don't have this, you're killing your father, Larry. Matte new school logo. Little itty bitty old logo in holographic. King of the Whooper. 90s retro style. Itty bitty logo in matte. Old school logo in holographic and big. This is a magnet. I don't think I have any more of these. Matte. Old logo. Gangly Gang in the coolest holography hollow matte. Regular holographic. Holographic, that's the word. If you're into cars and you don't have one of these stickers, fuck you. Not grabber. That was a bit much. I don't think I have these anymore. Apologies to anyone whose kids were within earshot. That was a little too aggressive. You got it. Look, that's Sales 101. Aggressive sales obviously works. There's a gutter cleaning company who have aggressive sales guys. And I've legitimately told the sales guys, like, if you do not knock this off, I'm going to cancel my service with you. And I'm actually going to cancel my service with them now that we have these fancy gutter guards. And I just can't wait. Because I'm going to specifically say, like, one of the reasons I'm canceling this service is that your aggressive sales guys are obnoxious. And it is 2025, dude. Get fucking with it. That shit is just, like... I want to say, like, that shit doesn't work, but unfortunately it does work. It's just... it's just bad. It's just bad. It's bad stuff, man. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, type at CiottiFPV. Those stickers are all in my Etsy store. There's lots of other fun stuff on there. Buy yourself something nice and support the dude that's doing his thing on the internet. Cool. Jimmy the Cow says, looking forward to those water slide stickers on the new Whoop you got in the screenshot. That's an old screenshot, actually. I reused the shit out of that. Tamava says, can we get your rant on Discords costing money? Yes, absolutely. So somebody asked Joshua, why does it cost me money to get on your Discord? First and foremost, if somebody chooses to charge money for something, that's totally their choice. If you don't like it, don't give them money. That's your choice. But everybody it is okay for every and anyone to charge money for every and anything they so choose. If you think that you have something that has value to human beings and you would like to charge money for that so that you can then use that money to live and make up for the fact that you have already spent time on that thing that has value, and or B, you are going to spend time on that thing, that's totally fine. That's not capitalism. That's just, that's just the world. And so, yeah, but the other thing that I really, really like, is that one of the reasons that he charges money is to kind of keep the riffraff out. An open Discord that's easy to join, that's going to be popular, is going to have a lot of idiots in it, right? And so obviously Joshua Bardwell is, I think we can just say the most popular FPV personality, right? If he isn't, he should be. Yeah, his Discord has the potential of just being crushed by too many people and too many idiots and just awfulness. And so, there's a lot of really good reasons for him to charge $2 whole a month for his Discord. He has done an absurd amount of work and put an absurd amount of time and effort into FPV. And there's an extreme amount of value there. And so however the hell he wants to charge is totally fine with me and should be with you as well. Because when that doesn't happen, and when people continue to do shit for free, when people put tons of time and effort into something and then they don't get something back and they just give it away for free or whatever, that's when people quit. And then all of us suffer, right? If Joshua quit, we would all suffer greatly. And so I think it's actually really important for people at some point to start charging for the thing that they've put a ton of time and effort into, for their own good, if nothing else, then also to help it also helps the other people out that are trying to charge money to do that for a living, right? Photography is the biggest example of this, but FPV has had a race to the bottom as well. And I have absolutely felt it, right? Any idiot can go get an Avata 2 and have one of, if not the best Cinewhoops on Earth. Are they going to be as good of a pilot as me, somebody that's 10 years into it? Of course not. But they're going to be able to just show up to their buddy's music video gig for fun, for free, and have a camera that floats, right? And give their buddies some flight footage, and then that totally screws those of us doing it for a living. In one way, the alternative of that is, well, there was no budget there for a proper FPV drone, so go after the jobs that do have the budget, and that's what I do. But see what I'm saying? And so yeah, it's tough. It's very easy to look at a free platform and think, oh, well, if Discord allows us to join for free, if YouTube allows us to watch these videos for free, if et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then I should not be blocked by a human being. That has nothing to do with it. Like the fact that any one of us uses any of these platforms and monetizes them, that has nothing to do with it. You're paying for someone's life, right? Joshua has dedicated a massive chunk of his existence on Earth to FPV, and so have I. Not nearly as much, but and so yeah, that has value. There's my rant. Anything that there is no difference to me. Somebody charging money for anything, any time that somebody wants to charge money for something, what that should say to you is that that thing has value, and that person charging money has realized that that thing has value. You want to be careful when people don't charge money for things, right? Because that means that that person thinks that it doesn't have value, and or they haven't put enough time and effort into it for it to actually have enough value that it is monetizable. Of course, there are charlatans that charge money and don't know what the hell they're doing, right? Of course. But much more often than not, something free is going to be shittier than something you pay for. Certainly not always, but if we're playing the odds here, there you go. You Can FPV says Race Spec V2 is insane. Indeed it is. That's right. I checked these batteries. They're good to go. Spaceman Spiff says I should send Ciotti a race timer, but would he use it? No. I would not. Denzilla Turbo says hello, friends. CiottiFPV et al. Tamava says, I think it's up to the server owner to decide everything that happens on their server. Absolutely. You have final say on yours. If people don't like it, that's their issue. Yep. It's true. I do, I'll be honest, I do have, now that I'm in a world where I have to, and have been for a while, where I have to charge money for something that is sometimes given away for free, I don't love when people challenge other people that are trying to make a living for that. This is not me digging on you at all. Whoever asked me for the rant, Tamava, this is not a dig on you at all. It's a totally valid question. But yeah, when we should all be more okay with people charging money for stuff. It's hard, man. It's a hard world to live in though, because it feels like everything costs a few dollars. And it's so easy to not see the value in some stuff. Like I don't love paying $18 a month, whatever the hell it is, for Netflix every single month. But holy shit, the amount of time and effort that has been put in from hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of people to make Netflix an actual thing, that's insanity that we only have to pay $18 a month for it, right? Or whatever it is. And like everything is kind of like that, right? Like when you look at the stuff that costs money, there's been an outrageous amount of time and effort put into it. And so, yeah, I try really hard to think of it from that side rather than thinking of it from the like, Jesus Christ, everything costs $2 side. Jimmy the Cow says, give money to CiottiFPV fuckers or Teddy will starve. It's true. He'll starve to death. That little fat shit will become skinny and he'll die. Chef Bruno says, how do you feel about the new Beta 2 lipos? Wednesday we are going to do a full live stream testing the Beta FPV Lava V2s versus the Newbeedrone NX69s versus the Weebleed 300s. On the second half of the 12-hour live stream, I tested the Lava V2s versus the NX69s, and the Lava V2s were a little bit better, just a little bit. But I told Beta FPV and Newbeedrone that I would do like a full-blown live stream with the test. And so we'll do that on Wednesday. I've just been waiting for a Whoop Wednesday where I'm not stuck in the grundle of the year. Somebody said on the 12-hour stream, I said, look, guys, it's the week. We're moving into the week between Christmas and New Year. Be a couch. It's the time of year that you can be the most useless sack of shit on earth. And somebody in the chat said, I call that week the gooch. That's the gooch of the year. But I like the word grundle better than gooch. And so now that we've moved out of the grundle, which is that last week of the year, I was going to do that live stream on this last Wednesday, but I was stuck in the grundle, man. I was feeling very grundly. And I'm bouncing back from that. I have a hard time. December is hard for me every year. My anxiety goes completely nuclear. There's too much going on. There's too much stuff to remember. It's just too much. Yeah, I've been struggling to think of good stream ideas and to not be just in general sort of misery. But yeah. Ricardo Penders says, does your micro brushless tier on Patreon include 3-inch drones? It does indeed. $5 a month. Hey, there's a giveaway tomorrow night, so it's a great time to join Patreon. You don't have to be on that live stream. You just have to join my Patreon at the $5 or up tiers, and you'll be automatically entered into giveaways every first Monday of the month. For $5 a month, you'll be entered to win toothpick and tiny whoop parts. For $10 a month, you'll be entered to win 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewoop parts. Lately, it's been lots of props, but there's some other stuff in the bin. For $15 a month, you'll be entered to win 5-inch parts. For $1 a day, $30 a month, if you want to be a super supporter and make sure that I keep doing this, you'll be entered into all 3 of those giveaways. And that happens every single month. Just someday a package will arrive with like $50 worth of stuff, usually right around 50. And that'll be worth the extra couple of dollars over the general admission tier, won't it? I hope so. Thank you to all of you that support me. Hey, speaking of, I've gotten behind on some shout-outs here. Chaser FPV, thanks for the very generous Patreon. Welcome to the Gangly Gang, my friend. Alpha Omega Construction, I think I hope I gave you a shout out for this because it did come through during a live stream, but God forbid I didn't. Alpha Omega, thank you so much for the PayPal. He says, for all you do, brother. Thanks. Thank you. Greg Carlson, welcome to the Gangly Gang, man. Thanks for joining the Patreon. Stephen Corley, welcome to the gang, brother. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. We could not process your payment. Oh, shit. That's from a while ago. Kevin Ertl, again, sent me a super generous PayPal. It looks like it was during a live stream, but just to make absolutely sure. Usually what I do, I give you guys the shout out and then I delete the email. In some cases, the email will sit here and I'll like look at the timestamp. I'll be like, yeah, that was during a stream, but there's a chance I didn't see it. So Kevin, thank you so much. He says, yo, Mr. Ciotti, just a thanks for all the great hours in your streams / videos. Keep up the good energy. Thank you so much, dude. Extremely generous. Jason, I'm not going to destroy your last name, but it begins with Chev. Oh, it's CiottiFPV. Sketch says, I know Patreon treats you the best, but still wanted to throw a bone for the help deciding 65mm 1S 04 Whoop build. I know your bottom line is don't do it, but I just can't help myself. I might have an addiction. Thanks again. It's okay. You can always just when you get sick of it, you can just take the center stack out of that frame and drop it into a 1.6-inch prop frame with GEP RC 1002 25,000s, and you'll have something that's awesome. Jason, thank you for the PayPal, brother. And PayPal is the way to do it, man. PayPal actually takes less of a percentage than Patreon. Patreon takes very little, but technically, PayPal takes ever so slightly less. Wes Dane, welcome to the Gangly Gang, brother. Thank you for joining the Patreon. Very, very cool of you. Oh, man. Wes sent me an email with a question here, and I completely missed it. Okay. That's a good question there. I need to... The other thing that happens in December is that my inbox just absolutely turns into literal lava and melts through the surface of the earth into the core. And I get really behind, and it's just real bad. So, yeah, apologies to anybody that is waiting for a reply from me on an email. January, I always get caught up, and we're in January, so it's coming. Andy W. I'm not going to wreck your last name. Thank you for joining the Gangly Gang, brother. Thank you for the PayPal. Not PayPal, Patreon. Ryan Scott as well. Welcome to the gang, brother. Thank you for the support. El Chingon. Thank you as well. Just Michael. It just says Michael. Michael, welcome to the gang. Thank you for the support, friend. Yeah, this guy, I got real behind on these. Shota K, welcome to the Gangly Gang. Thank you for supporting me. Natter FPV, welcome to the gang. Thank you as well. Corey Schmitz, welcome. Thank you. Somebody asking me if I have any of the drill bits left. I think I do. I think that I set the stock kind of conservatively on Etsy. All right, if you've been waiting patiently for the drill bits to come back in stock, I'm putting them back in stock right now. For whatever reason, I put the number of something that I have in stock into Etsy, and then it always sells out before I have any left. Hopefully that makes sense. And so I've begun to just put the stock numbers on things like lower than I should. But now I'm having the opposite problem. What is this? 0.99 millimeter drill bit, sold out quantity. It looks like I have at least 8 in here. I'm going to say 6. I'm going to be conservative again and say 6. Renew with changes, 20 cents. Yes, totally fine. And then the 1.47s are here. And I can specifically see how many are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put 5 in stock on this. All right, so the drill bits are back. Renew with changes. Total cost 20 cents. Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Matter of fact, where did that email just go? Jeremy, I'm replying to your email right now. Just put them back in stock. Thanks for the reminder. Okay. I legitimately do appreciate the reminders. I'm not just saying that, I promise. And I think there was like one more Patreon in here. There it is. Ola, welcome to the Gangly Gang. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Much, much, much appreciated. There was one more though. Oh God, that's right. Julio Callejas. Hopefully I didn't wreck that because incredibly generous. So much so that Julio is getting added to the intro of the live stream. Watch this. Ready?
I got my goggles on, my socks are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Hitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoops grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps are diving, flying like it's 7.5.
In reality, I just wanted to hear that goddamn song again. Julio, thank you so much, man. Incredibly generous. Enjoy being rightfully one of the top supporters with generosity like that. And then Ricardo Penders, and now we're caught up. Look at that, Ricardo. Welcome to the Gangly Gang. All of you beautiful bastards. Welcome to the gangliest of all the gangs. We hang out over on Discord, which is linked on CiottiFPV.com. We build better drones. We help each other mentally so that we don't jump off of buildings. One of the coolest corners of FPV for sure. Mupshot says, it's when you're fixing to do something that you know you've been absorbed into the culture. Yeah, I will I will never use fixin' in that sense, that's for sure. Mark my words. Matrix says, what is the flight time of that Walksnail build on a 550 MAH? It's going to probably be like 3.5-ish minutes. I don't like the 550s. I really prefer the 450s or now the 480s because it looks like these Lava V2s are going to be the way to go pretty much across the board, it feels like. But yeah, a 1.6-inch build. I mean, runtime is way more heavily dependent upon how you fly than anything else. So like if I cane this thing up and down the street with like 40 degrees of up tilt, I can charge through a 550 mAh battery in probably like a minute and a half. So it's really tough, especially when we start talking about like tiny whoops that we're flying outside. That becomes even more difficult because like you can fly them in your garden and they'll run for 4 minutes. Or you can hammer them up and down the street and sit them on full throttle for half the battery to try to throw it up over a tree, right? And so it's really all over the place. But here's what I can tell you. In like most people's cases, a 1.6-inch build with an HD system on board and a 550 mAh battery should get around 3 minutes of runtime. With a 450 mAh battery and the right setup, you should also be able to get almost 3 minutes of runtime, maybe a little bit less than that. But you should not be in a situation where you're getting like a minute or a minute and a half. You should be able to get over 2 minutes almost regardless. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's more like the answer that you were, the info that you were looking for. Kevin Smith says you've got to slip Wicked Awesome in there too. Wicked Awesome is that Southwestern or is that Canadian? Oh yeah, that's Canadian, isn't it? I think Wicked Awesome is Canadian. Ramalala says, "What if you don't have fingernails?" I don't. I basically don't have fingernails. I mean, I have fingernails, but I bite them off like the crazy bastard that I am. Whoop Fox says, "What do you think about the Acrobee 75 2S?" I saw that they have them on Weebleed. Newbeedrone sent me, so that I'm assuming that you're talking about the V5, the Acrobee 75 V5. I have a live stream about it. Newbeedrone sent me one, and I was really surprised by it. I couldn't believe how well the 0804 motors did. The canopy is very heavy and kind of unnecessary. The frame is not the strongest, but it was really decent. I got kicked out of a mall flying it, actually. I then took it and put it into this little toothpick, Mosquito 2.5-inch toothpick setup. And I like it a lot less in here, but I think that's a problem with these 1202 flow motors. I think these motors are just, I don't know, not up to the task. But the BLV5 Acrobee is, there's nothing wrong with it. The motors are a little weird. 804 is a very odd motor size. I would not keep it on those motors. I would go to like a 1002 or 1102 or something like that. And then the AIO, the BLV5 AIO, it's not bad. It's not great either. It uses the tiny little motor plugs, which are a little bit annoying. And I believe the OSD kind of flickers in and out. So like, it's not bad, but it's also not good. It's kind of like somewhere in between. If you're gonna go all in on Newbeedrone and stick with the little tiny plugs in the motors, you're gonna be a lot happier with it than somebody who's not all in on Newbeedrone, and they're gonna have other motors with the bigger plugs, and they're gonna have to swap the plugs over, and it's just gonna be annoying as hell. So I guess that would be my, like, Acrobee 75 2S is for people that are all in on Newbeedrone. There's nothing wrong with that. Newbeedrone, I love Newbeedrone as a company. Do they do everything absolutely perfectly? Of course not. They're trying to cater towards new folks, and so they're going to do things that are annoying as hell to those of us that are hardcore into FPV, because they're trying to help new folks, right? Like sticking with a different motor plug that forces all of the new people to just buy the motors from them rather than getting God knows what motor at God knows what KV and then calling them pissed off when it doesn't work. Right? Newbeedrone does stuff to cater to new folks, and that's okay. They are allowed to do that. And it's important for them to do that because it's hard. It's hard to get into this shit, and it's really frustrating, and it's unreasonable to try to learn everything that you need to learn from FPV in your first, like, 6 months so that you don't quit. And so we should be very appreciative of companies like Newbeedrone that are willing to cater towards the new people and have customer service and, you know, all that jazz. So, yeah. That's what I'll say about the Acrobee 75 BLV5. Jamie Flies FPV says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. And all you beautiful bastards. Flakadelic says something, but YouTube didn't want me to read it. So they scrolled me to the bottom of the chat for absolutely no reason for the 10,000th time. Just trying to find it, man. Just trying to do my job. YouTube. Flakadelic says, I've added total flight time to the post-flight stats in my OSD, but it always stays on 0. What gives? My guess... That's weird. I was about to say my guess is that that's based off of timer 2 rather than timer 1, but that still wouldn't make sense. That's weird. Why is it doing that, bro? Total flight. Don't use it. They're all the best answers here. Just don't do it. Total flight time, eh? Just want to see what that's called in the list here. So post-flight statistics. Average fly time total. I have that turned off. Turn that off. I'm assuming that you're using this fly time total, and for some reason it doesn't work. Just use this. Just use timer 1. Value of timer 1 at time of disarming. Use this one instead. Or timer 2, if you're using timer 2. But don't do that. That's silly. Use timer 1. You know what I bet you this is? I bet you this is Betaflight added right above that is flight counts total. Right here. Total number of flights. In the more recent versions of Betaflight, they added a counter that reports on that, the total number of flights on this flight controller, I guess. I don't know really how it works, but I don't know if it's like if it's on the flight controller itself or if it's since you last updated Betaflight, right? Like there's a couple different ways they could do that, but I'm assuming that fly time total is attempting to do that as well. It's attempting to tell you, hey, since the last time you updated the firmware, erased the full memory flash erase, maybe since this board was produced, right? I don't know if they could do that, but you've flown 14 hours and 5 minutes. I'm assuming that that's what fly time total is. And so either you're on too old of a version of Betaflight on the quad itself, that it's not tracking that stuff, or it just doesn't work yet. Maybe they just put that in there and it's not working yet, right? I bet you that's the deal. I haven't really dove into those. So there's a couple of them. There's like flight distance total. I think that's the same kind of deal. There's flights count total. Full throttle timer. I think that might be one of the new ones. Fly time total. Yeah. Pretty recently they introduced a couple things like that count even after you unplug, which is really, really cool. But I'm not going to use them. FPV says, I love the K20Z3. That red line is insane. Feels so good to roll through the gears. Yeah, the Honda K20 series of motors, K20Z3, K20A2? I don't know, there's a bunch of them. These are arguably the best 4 cylinders ever produced. You can make over 300 horsepower from a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, 2.4 liter 4-cylinder, with the right mods. They're very lightweight. They're all over the place. They put these engines in shitloads of Acuras and Hondas, so you can get them for like $200 at a junkyard. If you're gonna build a track car, almost regardless of what it is, doing a K swap, which is what it gets called, is one of the best things you can possibly do, because the motor is just so good, so cheap, tons of parts, tons of people that know them. There are some problems with them, but boy, it is a hell of a gasoline engine. Yamasaur says, might have missed this, but have you tested the 75mm LiteAF yet? I didn't know there was one. Did I really not know there was one? Holy shit, look at this. 75mm LiteAF. I'll be damned. White, solid black, jade. Ooh, ruby red. Look at you. Obviously, I have not tested it because I didn't even know that it existed. But that's a little scary. I don't know. The 75mm rigs are an awful lot heavier, and the LiteAF frame is an awful lot is awful light and really geared towards just saving every bit of weight. Next time I do a Newbeedrone order, I will absolutely order one of these. But I'm not gonna like do a Newbeedrone order right now to get. Although, you know what, I almost might as well, because like now nobody's doing free shipping anymore, and so we might as well just order whatever we want whenever we want it. You know, because like we don't have to wait to get over some kind of like a threshold anymore. The fucking thresholds are now like $200 to get free shipping. And so yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave this tab opened, and maybe I'll do a Newbeedrone order sooner than later. I will not do an order for just this. That's absolutely insane. I will, you know, because I'll pay like $5 or $6 shipping, and so, you know, I'm gonna get a bunch of things at once. But yeah, interesting. There's also I have been pretty impressed by the Air V2, the Meteor 75 Air V2 frame. Is very lightweight and it's very stiff. So I'll be honest, I'll bet you that this is not as good as the Air V2 75, Air 75 V2 rather. But it could be good. It could be great. I'll let you know when I do at some point get my hands on one. I will absolutely get one. I'm just not gonna like run right out and get one. That is a frame for 1.6-inch prop 1S builds. There are only 2 motors in existence that make that style of builds fly even remotely decent. The best motor selection option is the GEP-RC 1002 25,000. And those are actually so good that you can do an HD build and it still flies pretty decent. The other option is the tree toppers, the Weebleed 0802 33,000 kV motors. These will not work on the HD builds. It is too small of a motor. It will overheat and get too hot. But on an analog, on a nice lightweight analog setup, these are amazing. Arguably better than the GEP-RCs. I personally no. Personally, the GEP-RC 1002 25,000 is the only motor for a 1S 1.6-inch build. But these tree toppers are pretty good. And if you value lightweight over a little bit extra power, the tree toppers are the way to go, and you'll like them better. To me, the 1.6-inch 1S builds are all a little underpowered, and really need the GEP-RC motors. Has anybody seen those GEP-RC motors anywhere easier to buy them from? GEP-RC 1002 25,000 kV. They sell them. GEP-RC sells them with motor plugs on them. CiottiFPV sells them with no motor plug, which is not the end of the world. It's just super annoying to get a brand new motor and have to fuck around with soldering a plug to it. Ooh, these are gone. Shit. Oh, well, I'm not going to got to do that. That sucks. I've been actually thinking about getting another set directly from GetRC, because you can get them with the plugs installed. $50 for 4 of them with plugs ready to go. That's pretty good. But yeah, these motors are awesome. Shockingly good, to be really honest. I was hoping that somebody else stateside might start selling them, but apparently not. And, well, let's see, actually. Nope, sold out. Yeah. Hopefully RDQ/GetFPV get these back in stock, because they are phenomenal motors. Yeah, it looks like they're still only available. I wonder what the shipping is on these from GetRC. If the shipping is fairly inexpensive, then like whatever. Oh, it's $10. $10 for shipping. Nope. That's a little rough. Yeah, 49 becomes 59. But I mean, $59 for a set of motors like this, that's relatively fair. I don't. That's all right. It's not great. I've certainly missed the days of like $8 Whoop motors and shit like that. But you know, nothing's ever going to be cheap again. With the damage that's being done, you know. So, all right. Chef Bruno says, I won an 85mm build, but it doesn't make much sense to me. It is 1S only. I'm with you there. But has 1103, 11,000 kV motors. Where do I find 85mm props? So don't look for 85mm props. Look for 2-inch props. Well, usually 85mm build refers to 85mm motor to motor. 85mm is the same as 3-inch, right? No, 85mm is 3.34 inches. So there are no 3.3-inch, 3.35-inch props. So yeah, 85mm build to me means 2-inch propellers. So you're looking for 2-inch props. Yeah, that build does not make much sense. 1103, 11,000 kV motor on 1S is going to be awful. That is a 2S motor. That is actually the same motor that I have on this little 2S Baby Turtle Pro with 04 Lite. And these motors are awesome. 1103, 11,000 on 2S with 2-inch props is amazing. Hopefully, that build that you won will take 2S. If it won't take 2S, you should change the AIO to an AIO that'll take 2S, and then that thing will rip. So yeah. But those 1103, 11,000s on 1S, they're not going to really work with anything. I mean, like, maybe if you can get a 3-inch propeller onto those, they might make a little bit of power, but now the 1S voltage sag is going to be too much. And so, yeah, that's a 2S motor. And 85mm builds are 2S builds. You're not going to be able to build an 85mm motor rig on 1S that performs all that good. So, yeah. You didn't win a build. You won a bunch of parts that, when combined together with some other parts, will be fun. Think of it that way. Neo Flows says, you learn to fly, build the right drone for the job, not to mention how long that takes alone. Then you get the best gear for the job. You learn about camera ISO color grading, and we can't charge LMAO. Yeah, dude. You know, look, this is, in my opinion, this is the plight of the artist. anybody who even remotely considers themselves to be an artist is very familiar with this situation. Is it right? Of course not. Of course it's not right. But it is absolutely the way that it is, and it in some ways, it's what makes art. How about that? Right? Like the fact that being an artist is fucking hard and there's struggle is kind of important, because otherwise everybody would be an artist and art would be even worse than it already is, right? Like, and so, yeah, it's tough. Uriel says, tomorrow I work for you. Deal. Capital C says, I'm Alpha Omega. Okay, cool. Thank you, dude. Thank you very much. Capital C also says, I just got a crazy F411 20 amp AIO. It had the newer version of Betaflight on it, and it had a tune on it. Is it normal for a flight controller to have a tune? Not super normal, but all that means is that they put a ton of those AIOs into one of their bind and flies. And so, yeah, that's every once in a while that happens. Wipe that tune out, or just flash it to the newest version of Betaflight. But yeah, don't, if you ever buy an AIO that has a tune on it, don't use that. Don't like, ooh, magical tune, maybe it'll be good. No. Just wipe it out and start from scratch. I've told you guys how to tune a million times. Grab that master multiplier, just start moving it to the right. At some point, you'll move it too far. The quad will tell you, and then you back it off a little bit, and now your tune is 1,000 times better than any preset rando tune that you might have found. So simple. So simple. Stephen Corley says, thank you for all the help. Broke the receiver on my X12, soldered a new ELRS R1 onto it. Is there a solder bridge needed to remove, or do I have my settings wrong? Happy Model X12 solder bridge receiver. So I know that there's a VTX power bridge. That's what this Reddit post is talking about. You know what? Just message Happy Model. Message Happy Model on Facebook or Instagram. They will get back to you and ask them that question. I don't specifically know it. And I haven't seen it. Oh! Wait. Oh, nope. This is the same. Hold on. Command F. Receiver. Maybe the same bridge for VTX and for the internal ELRS receiver. Check the VTX temperature, though, if it's more warm, blah, 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 blah. Yes, camera and VTX are not hot anymore, so there's no easy to switch. There is no easy way to switch off the internal video transmitter. Oh, farts. Hold on. There's a lot of good... this is actually a rare Reddit thread with some good info in it. Here comes a link to this Reddit thread in the chat. Read through this. Hopefully the answer is in there. If not, give Happy Model a shot. They're very good. But it looks like in the picture here, they're showing you the solder bridge for the VTX in there, but that's obviously not what you want. Although, yeah, no, you can't have two receivers. What I was going to say is the receiver is not going to overheat the AIO. Like, if you're going to not run the AIO's internal VTX, you have to turn it off because it's going to get too hot, especially without an antenna attached to it. The receiver is not is not the same thing. The receiver is not going to get too hot, but you're going to have two receivers running at the same time, which is not the best thing in the world, but you're probably going to be totally fine. Just not turning off the receiver. Just like with the VTX, it's trying to transmit, and then you've got an external VTX, and that's trying to transmit as well. So it's there's all this noise and shit, right? With receivers, they're just receiving, and so you can have two receivers sitting next to each other, and it's fine. So yeah, I don't think you actually need to do anything. I think you're good, just letting that internal receiver. It sounds like the internal receiver blew up anyway, so in theory, it's not running. But yeah, I think you're okay, just sort of ignoring it. But I think I just put the link in the chat again. Whatever. I'd rather put it in there twice than not at all. If it's not working, your settings are wrong. You got the wrong port tab selected, or the RX and TX are swapped. That's a mistake that I like to make all the time, just to make sure that I don't get too big for my bridges. I cannot believe I just got to say too big for my bridges. Today's a good day. Drewzen96 says, my son loves the old song. He watches the opening to your videos over and over and over. What old song? The new songs? The old songs don't have any lyrics or anything. Like, the old songs, I feel like they're cool. Why? Somebody says no audio? Why no audio? Did I switch scenes and lose audio? Weird. I don't know why there's no audio. Oh, wait, did I go to the VRX seat now? There's still audio here. That's weird. Ricardo says, your sound is not working. I think it's just you, Ricardo. Audio's good. I have audio. Weird. Fizz says, see, not everything free is bad. Denzel the Terrible says, come on, Ciotty, if you admit it, you got kicked out of that mall for skinny dipping in the fountain. Oh, I wish. I wish we had malls with fountains. That'd be cool. Mubshot says, I don't think that flight time or count really works after you power cycle. You aren't saving that data. Am I wrong? Yeah, that's the cool thing that Betaflight somehow managed to do, is that after you pull power, it was saving some of that. I don't know how they do it. I don't know where they store that data. I don't know if when you update versions, or if you full chip erase when you're updating a version, if that wipes it out. You would think that if you select the full chip erase option when you're updating Betaflight, that it would wipe everything out, right? But yeah, there's some coolness going on in there. I just don't really care about it, and so I haven't really looked into it. Nathan Wells says, what is the issue with the Newbeedrone 1202 motors? I have the 11,420 kV version of them and was planning on using them on a 2S 3-inch toothpick with 04. I'm not totally certain that it's these motors, but I did move this build from a BLV4 to the BLV5, hoping that it might fly a little bit better, and it didn't. And so the problem is either the frame is too heavy, and the all-up weight is too heavy, or the motors just aren't very powerful, or I'm mismatching the propellers with the motors, but I don't think that I am. And so my suspicion is that these Newbeedrone 1202 motors are just not, 1102. 1102 motors are just not all that powerful. They're 19,000 kV, so I do have them motor limited down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I've used these motors on a couple different builds, and I've never been all that impressed with them. They are not notchy at all. The magnets seem like they could be just kind of like weak. But yeah, I have not had great luck with these motors. Let me actually, let's do the test that we did before, but on this little guy. And let's see if maybe one of these motors is just jacked up. Let's see if one of these motors is jacked We're going to give this thing infinite voltage from a 480 and a 580 mAh battery. And you're going to get to see how much sketchier this is to do this on 2S rather than 1S. Which is a terrible idea. I should not be doing this, but we'll do it anyway. For the culture! We'll do it for the culture! Whatever the fuck that means. Everything is for the culture lately. Shut up. Stop saying stupid things. Alright. This is creepy. Let me try to not lose my fingies. Well, that feels and sounds pretty vibratey. Oh, that sounds and feels pretty vibratey as well. Ooh, I can't even get it up to 30% throttle. It's already making some power. Yeah, see, I mean, like, they sound bad. Like, that the sound is... It sounds out of balance. But, like, I don't actually think that they are. Channel 1 is a little bit low, but it's not that bad. Yeah, see, I don't know. I feel like I do this over and over and over again. I expect to, like, find a problem with this build, and then I don't. And then I fly it, and it doesn't fly all that well, and then I give up. It just doesn't fly very well. It almost feels like a motor braking situation, like it doesn't have enough motor braking. I don't know. I think it's just a toothpick thing. Like, I don't love the way that toothpicks fly. And this is a toothpick. They're just, like, the propellers are so big and the motors are so small, and, like, it just all feels out of whack. This all looks fine. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This thing, I've never gotten it to fly in a way that I've been totally happy with, though. But, you know, 2.5-inch props are big. And these are little tiny 1102 motors. I very well could just be asking too much from this. That could absolutely be the deal. Because toothpicks do tend to have that flight characteristic of, like you come off the throttle and they just, like, float. Like, everything they do is kind of soft and floaty. And that's not what I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for something that's, like, locked in and razor's edge, you know? Like, the easy comparison point is to compare it to this baby turtle. But this is different, right? Like, the props are smaller, the motors are more powerful. 3 blades instead of bi-blades. Like, this is a very different animal than this. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I just don't like little tiny motors with big, giant, lightweight propellers. But, yeah. Some people do. Some people love that flight characteristic. I ain't one of them. Let me get caught up on chat so that we can fly these crazy... Hummingbird Race batteries. I'm scratching my throat because I live in a world of infinite allergy attacks now. I've actually been wearing a KN95 mask at home all day, every day for the last, like, week to try to not have constant allergy attacks. And it's unbelievably, it's been working. I thought I was gonna have to buy a respirator. I was pretty close to buying a respirator from Home Depot. But yeah, oddly, the KN95 is working really well. I'm just in that. I'm in the current phase of mask wearing where the backs of my ears, where it wraps around, just hurt like absolute fucking hell. So I'm having to like cycle the mask on and off until this builds up. You guys remember that from the pandemic? You remember like when it started and you first started wearing a mask, your ears hurt like shit for a while, but then eventually you just didn't even think about it? I guess they get like calloused up or something. That's a funny memory, isn't it? There's a strain of the flu floating around that's apparently like real bad right now. We might be right back where we started. You never know. Nathan Wells says, nope, we got that. Uriel says, I'm looking at 0702, but then I'm happy with connectors. Bill Bob says, any good places to buy Nylock hex nuts? I love eBay, man. I have so incredibly fallen back in love with eBay. M2 hex Nylock nut. Let's see. Oh no, not hexu. Nylon. No, they do call it Nylock. Nyloc. So yeah, it looks like there's tons of them on eBay. M2 hex Nylock nuts is what I searched for. M2 hex Nylock nuts. You're probably going to have to buy like a bag of 100, but you'll be surprised how quick you go through them. And it looks like they have them in black too. That's pretty awesome. It used to be difficult to find them in black. There you go. M2. Oh my god, there's black nickel plated and black zinc plated. That's pretty cool. I think zinc plated is going to be better. They do zinc plating to prevent against rust. Just one. That'll be the most expensive nut you ever buy. $4.09 plus shipping for just one. So don't buy one. Buy 100. Yeah, it looks like the price gets good at 100. I actually need to... I'm going to leave this tab open because I'm almost out of exactly these. So these will be available on my Etsy store sooner than later. Wait, they might even already be available. Hold on. I swear to God, I had too many of these Nylock nuts at one point. Search all items. Nut. No. I must have sold out of them. I had M2 nuts available at one point on my Etsy store, which is super annoying because I've now run out and I need to now order more. But M2 Nylock black nuts will be available on my Etsy store at some point here because I'm going to get this bag of 100 and I won't ever make it through the full 100. Hey, here's something cool you can do on eBay. Up here, under the sort, instead of best match, do nearest first. This is how you can save the planet a little bit. But they're all 4,000 plus miles away, so it doesn't matter. But sometimes you can find something that's really close by, spend an extra couple dollars, and it doesn't have to sit on a tractor trailer and charge all the way across the country to you. It's a nice little... And you'll get stuff quicker, and it's fun to support local folks. Know what I'm saying? I will still choose the one that's closest. Oh, but it's China, so it doesn't even matter. Okay. There is no closer. YouTube did the thing again. FPV says, I love the old songs too, and the new ones, they're both awesome. Indeed. At some point I'll go back to the old songs, but I'm really digging the Teddy Spaghetti songs. Let's fly the Newbeedrone Race V2. Newbeedrone very kindly sent this to me when it first came out. The first thing that I did was change the canopy. I hate the canopy that the Newbeedrone Races come with. it just doesn't work for like hard, crashy, low up tilt freestyle. For racing, it's probably fine. It's really lightweight, but for freestyle, I don't like it. This is a BriBrain standard. This is a standard BriBrain mount. The V2 Newbeedrone Race Hummingbird Race has the V2 of the BI camera that has a standard sized rear PCB on it. The old school BI has a bigger PCB on the back, and there's a specific BI BriBrain for that camera. But again, this is the V2 of the BI, which is like has the same PCB on the back as like the Pinch or a whole bunch of the current lightweight cameras. This is 25 degrees. I did try this thing on a 15 degree up tilt camera mount. It doesn't suit this rig. This is a horrendously lightweight, very overpowered setup. And so with really low up tilt, when you give it throttle, it jumps straight up in the air. It actually it feels way better with more up tilt, so that you spend more time with the nose down, and then when you hammer the throttle, it doesn't just rocket up into the ceiling, it rockets forwards as well. Really kind of, that was a really kind of fun revelation to get to with this. Like I was all excited about having like the ultimate overpowered freestyle setup, and so I put this on a lower up tilt camera because usually that's what you want for freestyle flying, but it's just so overpowered that it doesn't feel right like that. It really works very well with like 20 degrees of up tilt, 25 degrees of up tilt. Super lightweight little jank ass antenna. What does this guy actually weigh? I think the BriBrain, now I know that the BriBrain mount is a little bit heavier than the mount that this thing comes with, but it's just so much better that I think it's a no-brainer to do it. One of the things that you will want to do is put a little dot of E6000 on the camera plug. The camera plug does come unplugged on this. 16.7 grams. The other thing I did to this is I moved it to NX69, and it gains a little bit of weight when you do that because they use slightly thicker gauge battery wires. But sub 17 grams is still hysterically lightweight. And these Hummingbird 0702 30,000 kV motors make plenty of power. So let's do it, man. Let's take the rocket ship and blast our brain into oblivion. This is the most blatantly overpowered tiny whoop
in the world. In the world.
But boy, is it fun. Jesus. Jesus, hold on. Every time I fly this happens. There's just like a huge adjustment period. Oh my god, dude! It's just so silly. Oh god, I hit that hard! Yeah, just, I'm gonna fly really bad for this whole battery while I get used to this outrageous power to weight ratio. Here's our boy. Chase me, you jerk! He's not like a cat. Like, if I go around a corner, he won't come and investigate. That's one of the things that drives me insane about dogs, that I love so much about cats. If I did this to a cat, he would... Oh, hey, there he goes! He had to. He was down. See if we can get a reaction out of him. Oh, yeah. Oh, the taps. Oh, he's tapping. He's tap dancing. Look at you. Whoa. Whoa. Fancy feet. Oh. Whoa. There he is. Look how good he is. Oh. Whoa. Oh, shit, I can hear him growling from all the way down here. Big growl on that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let your bad side out, Teddy. Give in to the darkness, small dog. My God, man. Oh, fuck! Oh, boy. This is just, every single time I fly this rig, I really, like, I cannot get used to, and I don't think I'll ever get used to, how absurd the power to weight ratio is. First and foremost, these motors make a lot of power. They say 30,000 kV. There's no way they're only 30,000 kV. They make mad jam. Where the hell did he go? I heard him come down. Oh, there he is. He was camouflaged in there. Yeah, these motors make more power than advertised. It's just banana pants. And then I think it's also because the motors are direct soldered. They make even more power than what I'm used to. And then the rest of it is just weight. It's just very lightweight. It's a super lightweight build. Wow, that is absolute clown shoes. The amount of power that this thing makes is really just nuts. 3 more batteries. Hopefully I can get used to it a little bit more. This thing is fun, dude. The fact that you can just buy this and it gives you this kind of performance is bananas. Absolute bananas. Because this is on par with all of the full tilt custom race builds. Like, if you get good at flying and racing tiny whoops, you can just buy this and go beat all the dudes that are doing the custom builds. Like, that's how extreme of a build this is. Look at that! My God, man! Hold on. Let me spend a little time upstairs. Jesus Christ! Oh, whoa! It gets from wall to wall in here way too easily. It makes this upstairs feel a lot smaller than it actually is. Oh, God. I had to blip the throttle when I was inverted to keep it from hitting the ceiling. That was what I tried to do there. This is actually kind of too much, if I'm honest. So, like, direct soldered motors, very annoying for, especially with these being, they don't use regular motor wires. They use the, oh my God. They use the winding material, which is even more difficult to solder. Totally doable, but, like, legitimately difficult. So, like, living with this thing is going to be annoying as hell. But boy, there are some benefits. Like, you're not doing that for nothing. You're sacrificing to the performance gods. You're sacrificing to the cow gods. But here's the thing. This is legitimately hard to fly. This level of power to weight ratio is actually difficult to fly. I could certainly put a motor limit on this. And that would make it a lot easier. Like, the weight actually makes it easier to fly. It's the power that makes it difficult. But, like, if you're flying this, you're flying it for maximum chaos. Teddy, I really want to get this thing. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it out of here. Teddy, can't you do anything of value around here? I can't believe I got it out of there. He got very snarly just now, though. That was good. Ooh, he put that little face up. He knows what's coming. It's gotten. I've gotten Whoops caught in his beard like 1.5 times. It's like he knows. He knows not to just bite it. But he's never been like hurt by it, which is really great. That always makes me feel good. He's still willing to, you know, get all up in there. His reactions early days, though, were admittedly way better. Early days, it was hysterical, man. He was so obnoxious. Like, in a good way. But yeah. He's a good dog. He just went back upstairs. He used to be, like, the whole time I was flying, he was right here. Kind of, like, protecting me from it in a weird way. He's a funny dog, man. He's a very, very funny dog. They're smart dogs. Mini Schnauzers are very intelligent. And you can tell he's intelligent, but he's also dumb as a sack of bricks. It's an interesting, situation. Jesus. Hold on, dude. Let me turn the motors down just a little bit. It really is like, it's just bananas. Let's go down to 90%. All right, now let me just check that. Yeah, it's saved. Okay. Yeah, see, it's still absolutely insane. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is still ridiculous. But this is a lot easier. Like, a lot easier. Ah! Newbeedrone Gates got me. As you can see, it's still outrageously overpowered. Like, this is still absolute banana pants. Oh! Face first into the couch. I don't usually fly like this. But when you fly this thing... see, this is one of the reasons I don't usually fly like this. It just creates so many crashes. When you're flying this thing, like, you know, you might as well go for it. So I lost a propeller. I'm not going to try to find it. I'm just going to swap it out. I'm just going to put a fresh one on, I should say. Whoo, boy, that is outrageous. The Intel the Terrible says AliExpress is better prices than that, I think, for stuff like nuts and screws and standoffs. I have never ordered from AliExpress. I ordered from Banggood constantly when I was new in FPV. But I never ordered from AliExpress, and I'm weirdly like scared of AliExpress. Like the website, every time I'm on there, I'm just like, oh, I should order something, and then like I start to go through the order process, and I'm like, this seems sketchy as shit. It just feels bad. The website feels bad. You know? It doesn't feel like a trustworthy website. It feels like a website where a man is going to pop out and steal my credit card number and order sketchy things with it and have them shipped to me. And then he shows up at the door and he steals the product and kills our family. That's what AliExpress has done with their shopping experience. I'm taking my 0.99 millimeter drill bit and I'm running it up and down this propeller that I'm about to put on so that this propeller doesn't get stuck on the motor and destroy the motor. That's how it works. Although these are Newbeedrone motors, which have slightly thinner motor shafts, and now this propeller is going to fly off the motor. So I'm going to take this propeller off, put it back in the bag, and grab another one. And I'm not going to drill it out quite as hard. I'm just going to do one single pass with the 0.99 millimeter drill bit on this prop here. And now it's going to fit perfectly on this Newbeedrone motor shaft. It's not going to fit too loose like the one a second ago. There we go. I've chosen a pink and purple vibe on this Hummingbird Race V2. And I like it. I do be liking it. Let's fly the rest of this battery and then the last battery. Gotta be on top of it, man. This goddamn thing is so challenging to fly. It's so much fun, though. Oh, God! I killed myself! Not yet. That comes later. Oh, shit. Holy hell. Oh, my God. It is just like, if you're not absolutely on top of it, it punishes you. You have to be fully concentrating, fully caffeinated. But man, if you are, it rewards the hell out of you. Oh, that correction to get it through there, straightened out. Oh, almost. It makes the mega power loop feel like a regular power loop. This is the mega power loop, by the way. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is the mega power loop, by the way. Ah! Let's try it again. Oh my God! Oh, that hurts. Rejected. Matty flip. Rejected. Oh, yay! Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy find and fly. Living in a world where you can just give someone money for this and it not being like a fully custom build is outrageous. My reflexes are admittedly not good enough for this thing. This is a I mean, it's incredibly fun. But yeah, to properly fly this thing, you need a 17-year-old that flies, you know, for an hour a day every day. Last battery. Last NX69 on the Hummingbird V2. At 90% throttle. I can't believe it's still this insane at 90% motor output limit. Absurd. Everything's still good? Frame's not broken? Pretty durable, too. Ugh. Let me just concentrate. Oh, whoa! The crash recovery hooked the brother up and it went through the goddamn gate. That was cool. Ooh, what? Wow. Okay, cool. No, no, no. No, don't crash up there. Oh! Holy shit. It's just so crazy. Holy shit, dude. Ah, the goddamn Newbeedrone gate is so fun, but it's just so... It's exactly so like small enough that it's really difficult to get through there more than once without crashing. Ugh. How is this possible? How does this work? Oh no! Not back there. Oh! Sons of bitches. Man, what a thing, dude, what a thing. What a thing. It's just so aggressive and like infinitely nimble. Oh, shit. Chasing you, buddy. Come on over here. Ah. It's like you do something sick and then it rockets away and you have to like I got it to rip through this part of the kitchen, but then it's like, oh, what's next? Like it's going so fast. You have to like be pre-plan 14 steps in advance, but then you can't get behind by even one step. Oh, shit. The carpet's lava here. Oh, I made it. Let me not annihilate this battery. Oh my god. Woo! He's had his check. He's checked it. What was the results of your investigation, Teddy? I love this song so much. You are a very good dog, buddy. I love you. There you go, friends. That's a lot. That is a lot. It is so much. It is so aggressive and like fast, and the direction changes, and like unbelievably, it's very durable too. I don't know if very durable is the right thing to say, but like it's durable. It's durable. It just took a bunch of those crashes were fucking hard. Like I hit that cymbal hard. The one crash upstairs was big, and it's fine. You'll absolutely break this LiteAF frame, but It's a couple bucks. Swap a new one on and away you go. Just bananas, man. This is just so outrageous what is available now. And it like I don't not fly this thing. I don't fly it a lot. One of the reasons I don't fly it a lot is that it is so different than all of the other tiny whoops that I've built. In like not a bad way, but like not a great way either. Like it's so overpowered that for me to like spend a bunch of time flying it, I'm going to have to drastically adjust. And then to fly something else, I'm going to have to drastically adjust back. And so like if all of the tiny whoops that I build are like from like heaviest to lightest, most powerful to least powerful, whatever, if they're all in this range, I can pretty easily adjust myself in this range. The Hummingbird Race is out here. It requires a drastic adjustment, and that doesn't really make me a better pilot, right? Like when you have to adjust that drastically, you're not really getting better. You're just spending. You're getting better at adjusting, but you're not really like getting better as a pilot because it's just so insane. But it's fun, and sometimes you prioritize fun over improving, right? What a thing, dude! What a thing! What an absolutely ridiculous thing that this is. HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers are definitely the props that I recommend you run on this. You could move this over to an Air V2 frame. I don't think you should though. This frame is perfect for it. You know, it's a Newbeedrone bind and fly. Keep it on mainly Newbeedrone stuff. Respect that. Get your brand loyalty on. There you go. 10 out of 10. Do recommend. The direct soldered motors are admittedly annoying as hell, but you get more power and a little bit more efficiency from them. The little jank lightweight antenna, like, yeah, it sucks, but whatever. You're flying inside the house. It's fine. It's lightweight. It's durable. The BriBrain canopy, in my opinion, is a must. And you might as well do it in 25 degrees. 15 degrees or anything less than like 20 degrees is not going to be enough. Do put a little dot of E6000 on the camera plug, which I'm actually going to do right now because I keep forgetting. And it's going to bite me in the ass. Because the camera plug sits right behind the front standoff on the BriBrain. And so it kind of pushes into it. No big deal, but it's just a super simple thing that you can do in just that amount of time with your little fine tip applicator. This is actually T7000, but very similar to E6000. Denzel Terrible says you can get AIOs for good prices too on AliExpress. That the pricing and the fact that there's certain items on AliExpress that don't exist anywhere else is why I have almost ordered from there before, but I just haven't quite done it. Euro says you could order directly from Happy Bottle Store. You can indeed. They will actually ship it. Different as Timo or Banggood or Wish. Yuke says, that was funny watching you reach for the whoop. Uriel says, I ordered in Dutch RC store because I wanted it. Luckily, I got it in AliExpress package. Oh, yeah. He ordered for somebody local, and they just drop shipped it from AliExpress. Dronzen says, you ever mess with the mass storage device in Blackbox to share your Blackbox files, getting help from a buddy locking in his whoop and he needs Blackbox stuff, and I'm not familiar with. Yeah, I use Blackbox stuff every once in a while. I mainly just send it to Brandon's Baked Beans because he's just a ninja with it. Brandon does offer black box tuning for $1 a minute, which is extremely reasonable. You can get Brandon over on my Discord. Just type like @Brandon and it'll auto-populate Brandon's beans. Great guy. I'll hook you up. Phil Bradley with the last comment of the live stream. He says, despite being a handful, does the extra power give you more command in difficult turns, etc.? You seem to fly well with it. It's a mix, man. It's a mix of, like, sure, it has better response time because it's lighter and it's more powerful. But the problem is, and so that helps, right? Like, the quicker response time, the drone will literally react faster and potentially save you. But the problem is, it's so goddamn fast and it's so overpowered that, like, you need that response time to get you out of the situations that its own speed kind of creates. And so, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that you'll fly better with it because of the response time. It'll certainly impress people more, right? People will see how fast it is, and it makes your reaction time look even faster. And so it's like, holy shit. But like as a pilot, it feels like you're just hanging on for dear life. It feels like things are happening too fast, and you're like on your back foot, like, oh my god, the entire time, rather than like a slightly heavier build with taller ducts is going to be slower, and you're going to be able to like be more in command of it because it's not just like happening so quickly. Maybe that's because I'm 44 years old and my reaction times are going to shit. But I think most people, even young guys, are gonna with something this powerful and this light, are gonna be like, oh, just hang on. So yeah, it's a lot. It's very fun. It's very, very, very fun. But boy, I was hoping that with a 15 millimeter, 15 degree up tilt camera mount, that would help that situation. Like, having less up tilt tends to make you fly flatter and slower. But then, like I said earlier, the problem was that when I would jam on when you fly slower and flatter, more thrust goes downwards. And so this thing on a lower up tilt mount feels unbalanced because every time you blip the throttle, it just hammers straight up and like literally smashes into the ceiling down here. Might be fun to fly it like that outside, but then outside you want more up tilt anyway to go faster. So it just seems like it's a little bit out of balance when you run that lower up tilt. Like, this is meant for racing. It's meant for more up tilt. It's meant to just go. And it does that hysterically well. So, yeah. Fun rig. Fun to fly, but outrageously challenging. There you go, friends. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Go to CiottiFPV.com and support me so that I can keep doing this. I would love to rocket on the free world, rocket through the free... I would love to rock in the free world. Rockin' in the free... That's what it is. Rockin' in the free... I couldn't remember the exact lyric. I would love to rock in the free world all of 2026 with all of you beautiful bastards. Maybe buy one of these. If you buy one of these, I do have a Newbeedrone affiliate link. Please do use that. If you want to just absolutely light your hair on fire, this is it, man. And they do a great job building it. The OSD every once in a while flickers in and out, but it doesn't happen very often on this. Yeah, do it. Crazy, crazy. You can build this. You can buy these motors that have the magnet wires. You can solder this all together. But, like, let somebody else do it. and then you just have to repair it. Love you guys. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow night for a giveaway live stream. Cool. Join the Patreon if you want to get on the giveaways. $5 tier and up automatically puts you into the giveaways. You don't have to be on the live stream. You just have to schnarfle the Garthog. I don't know. Here's some more RC Drift Car Chase, and I'll see you guys at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. See ya!
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams, yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place, yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shotties on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah, yeah. Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, Teddy and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. Zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.